Rocky Sickman grew up in a rural area near Union, Missouri, just west of St. Louis. He signed up to be a Marine without his parents' knowledge. He wanted to see the world and become a Marine security guard. At 22 years of age, his first assignment in October of 1979 was at the embassy in Iran.
The Shah had been allowed into the United States for medical treatment 2 weeks prior, and there were demonstrations every day.
Each day, more people were coming to the embassy to protest the United States' role in Iran. On the morning of November 4th, 1979, Rocky had just gotten off duty and was walking to the motor pool gate.
Over top of my head was a camera to the front gate, and it had recall, which means report back immediately. And the demonstration was there, just like it had been for the last 2 weeks, chanting, although when I turned, they all started coming over the wall.
Rocky ran for the front door of the embassy, where he saw one of the other Marine security guards preparing to lock the doors to protect the people, property, and documents inside.
He was closing the door, saw me being chased, kept it open long enough for me to get in, closed it, and put a big bar down to where nobody could get in, nobody could get out. And so that's where we sat for the next 3 hours, waiting for the host government.
The Iranian army had provided security outside the walls in prior days, but on November 4th, they simply melted into the crowd, allowing the surge of people to scale the walls. Rocky and some others eventually barricaded themselves at the top of the building, but when other U.S. personnel had been captured and their lives threatened, Rocky and the other guards were given the command to open the door.
Eventually we were told to give ourselves up, which, as a Marine, it was very hard to swallow. And trust me, for the next 30 days as we sat, not allowed to speak, tied, again, that thought of that morning, how you had the trigger, your finger on the trigger of a sawed-off shotgun. You just wish that you would have pulled that trigger.
Looking back to 1979, Rocky says his instincts as a Marine made him want to fire his weapon, yet he obeyed his orders. If he had pulled that trigger, world history might be far different today.
You're sitting there as a 22-year-old Marine, could have started a freaking major war. But again, you wonder, had we fired, they would have killed us all. We would have started the war on terrorism.
52 hostages were held in Iran for 444 days. On April 24, 1980, the U.S. initiated Operation Eagle Claw, a helicopter mission to rescue the hostages. The maneuver failed in the desert, and 8 servicemen were killed. When Rocky learned of the operation after his release, he vowed to help families who lost servicemen and women. He today works with the organization Folds of Honor to help in that mission.
Freedom is not free. I mean, that as we go to a baseball game, as we go to a carnival, a fair, that there's somebody around the world pointing a weapon at our enemy and making sure that we live.
The ideals of the American flag are just some of the reasons Rocky Sickman became a Marine in the first place. It was those same ideals, memories of family, faith in God, that kept him going for 444 days in captivity. And yet today, it's those ideals that he shares with Americans and through the Folds of Honor program. Traveling the countryside in St. Louis, Missouri, I'm Andrew McCrae.